Let's unpack the tools to agents that want to have thoughtful marketing, that want to have great marketing.
When you have momentum in this industry, it's hard to get. And I tweeted this recently, Tom. I said, it's not hard to get busy, it's hard to stay busy. And so the first example that I'm going to share with you, and this is by a guy named Harry Dry. He's probably one of the premier marketers in real estate. Outside of real estate. He has a website called marketingexamples.com. What you're looking on the screen right now is an example of all these different types of campaigns. And I'll go to it, I'll pull up an example here for a second so you can see this, where these are famous advertising campaigns, famous marketing campaigns that he has highlighted to showcase, hey, this is the type of stuff that's working outside of real estate. And so I'll pull up the inspiration board, which is kind of my go-to here. And these are what we refer to as direct response ads. So what you're looking at right now is this is an awesome one, Tom. I'll zoom in here so you guys can see this. This is an ad for Volkswagen. It's from 0 to 100 in enough time. And what I love about that, right, is a Volkswagen Beetle is not a fast car. People would perceive that as a weakness. This ad takes its weakness and turns it into a strength. It appeals to an audience that doesn't care about the 0 to 60. It just cares about a reliable car that can get the job done. So the first site that I recommend everyone use, and Tom, you and I both know this, creativity is a process. The first site is I want to look outside of real estate, marketingexamples.com/inspiration. This is where the magic is. It's a fantastic library of out-of-the-box ideas. If you want to find the best videos on YouTube, there's a site that you can use to uncover what those videos are. And so obviously when you had that hook, I was like, I'm all in. The site is called 1 of 10. And what they do, and this is mind-blowing. What they do is they will actually analyze over, I think a couple 100 million YouTube accounts, and they will identify the outliers, the campaigns the content that's actually performing above the average of that account. So as an example, you see here, I'll zoom in so you can see this. This video here by Treasure Coast, Florida, she's got 2,000 subscribers. This video had 1,000 views. Well, that's actually 7 times higher than her average, okay? And so it's trends and predictions for the Florida housing market. If I click through on this, I can actually see what this video is all about. And you can pull up the topics and check out similar topics where you can find content. So Tom, I know that if you're gonna create content, you wanna increase the likelihood the content is gonna be well received, the video is gonna be watched, the Instagram post is going to be saved or favorited, or it's going to result in a DM. So the 1 of 10 is a place for you to discover the best performing YouTube videos that you can use not only in your video marketing, Tom, but also in other channels to reach more people.
So I love it. And I want to go back to marketingexamples.com and 1of10.com. I think the key insight for the person watching right now, and big shout out to you, and I would love to know, by the way, from you watching the show, what are some of the places you go to for inspiration to unpack and develop and create or get ideas for more marketing? Jimmy, what do you recommend if I'm on marketingexamples.com or I'm watching one of these videos and I'm like, wow, that's an outlier, that's clearly better. How do I then take that and make it my own?
Yeah, it's a fantastic question. So the first thing is there's 2 things that I do every time, Tom, which is number 1 is localize. So if I find a topic that is, let's say, real estate, we'll go back to the real estate trends one that we just had as an example of, right? Where it was the woman who had the Florida trends. What I'm doing is I'm localizing that. So she's doing Florida, I'm doing St. Petersburg. So that's number 1. Everything that is going viral at a high level, bring it down to the local level. The second thing I'm doing is I'm asking myself, how do I make this more timely? And if you can make something more timely, it makes it more relevant. So as an example, I may add in seasonality, such as summer or month of the year like June. So I'm localizing it and then I'm making it more timely. If you do that, that's going to make it so much more relevant for your audience in that case.
Right. And that could just be St. Petersburg, using that as the example, forecast for the second half of 2024, right? And just like
exactly.
that, you nailed both.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go to number 3. I want to keep improving my marketing. I want to keep getting inspired to do great marketing. What else should I be looking at?
Number 3, Tom, is a topic you and I are both very passionate about. And so what I'm looking for when it comes to email marketing is I'm looking for creative ways to, make an impression on the inbox. And so I use a tool called, this is very creative, so a marketer wrote this, reallygoodemails.com. And okay. So do I have to explain any more, Tom? It's really good emails, right? And so what I love about this is that, again, I'm always looking for, if I don't want to act or sound or look like my competition, I'm looking for inspiration outside of real estate.
So Jimmy, just to here. Yeah, if I wanted to share an example with someone, you could take this, you could copy one of these, you could put it into ChatGPT-4, right, as an example, and say, reimagine this for my real estate market.
Yeah.
Is that sort of, is that a hack, or do you have something different?
No, it's a great use case here, which is and when you pull these emails up, what you'll see is there is some $100,000 a year copywriter who is sweating over every single detail and every single word in these campaigns. And so I'm always looking at the different, the headlines, certainly the subject line. I'm looking at like this one here, soak in the smells of cocoa shimmy. Well, that right there, I know it does not relate to real estate, and that is okay. That's the point, but it captures my attention. So using, when I think about the words like soak and smell are words that you normally do not see in a real estate email, but could you? But you had
I'm interrupting. I apologize, but I think to myself, if I was looking at a home online with a beautiful garden in front and a bunch of flowers, soak in the smell of roses is way cooler than just listed.
Correct. Yeah, this one right here is lentils lentils that can get even more tasty, as an example. And what I love about this is they're capitalizing a word in the subject line. So what I would say is, and again, the job here that we're trying to do is, the process that I follow is I'm always seeking out inspiration with my marketing. So marketingexamples.com this is great for advertising inspiration. It's great for, let's say, social media posts that you want to capture people's attention. It's great for just developing, let's say, direct response campaigns that may end in the mailbox. It's out of the box ideas. 1 of 10 is a way to help power your social media content. You're basically newsjacking, Tom. You're finding trending topics that are doing really well, the outliers, and then you're newsjacking. Really good emails is a place for you to say, you know what, I want to reach my database where I have, Tom, and you and I have done the math on this. If you've got 10,000 people in your database, Tom, how many transactions do you think are in a database of 10,000 people?
I can tell you that it's easily 4.9 to 5% of the database is going to either directly send you a referral or do a direct transaction.
So there are going to be, let's say, minimum, there are probably 500 transactions available to you if you have a 10,000 person database. Or let's make it even simpler, 1,000 person database. There are 50 deals available to you, as an example. Well, we all know the best way to, let's say, nurture those deals is get in their inbox. You already have their email. How can you get in front of them? That's why using a tool like this can really help drive up your production. And the tool that I use religiously is a tool called Tweet Hunter. And what Tweet Hunter is I follow the best and brightest in real estate. I follow the Tom Ferrys. I follow the Lance Lamberts. I follow KCM. I follow Altos Research. I follow everybody who's putting out amazing content about real estate and marketing. And what Tweet Hunter does is it allows you to quickly look at what are these individuals' best tweets.
Yes.
And what I think is so powerful about this, because Tom, if you're a busy agent who's doing 45 transactions, you do not have time to spend hours researching. You've got to figure out a way to kind of cut the line here, right? And so what I use Tweet Hunter for is I find really smart people. I find what their most popular tweets are. But the other thing I do, and this is a cheat code right now, and I want everyone to pay attention because it's so important. If you are trying to, let's say, improve your marketing skills, because you want to go from doing 7 listings to 45 listings, or 45 listings to 100 listings, your inputs are going to dictate your output. Who you follow, what you consume dictates what you actually produce. What I do and this is something that Tom and I both love doing, is I find really smart people. Like, this is a guy who runs a podcast called My First Million, one of the most popular podcasts on the planet. I find really smart people and I click on who are they following. And I say, okay, let me go through the list and find out, let's say like someone like Lance Lambert, who is a economist for real estate, writes really good insight about the market. Who does Lance follow? Who are the people, who are the economists he follows? And who are they? Who do they follow? And so for me, Tom, it's a combination for Twitter, for using X, is using a tool like Tweet Hunter. Is I find really smart people through this technique, and I find what are their most popular tweets, and let me use that for inspiration for my marketing. Number 5, Dribbble. That's with 3 B's, Dribbble. So much of what we do in real estate is visual. The postcards we send, the social media posts we have, our websites, and there is a database of the best designers and best designs on the planet in one place. So if I'm trying to be different, if I'm trying to, let's say, stand out in the mailbox, I'm using a tool like Dribbble to get that visual inspiration. And so, Tom, you and I both know campaigns like Name Your Price, which is a campaign that Coach Jason Wright used to generate over $14 million in listings. It didn't look anything like any other campaign that ever existed in real estate. And so I use Dribbble for visual inspiration to really stretch me outside my comfort zone to get something that actually stands out when I deliver it on social media, as a thumbnail on YouTube, or in the mailbox.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Okay. This has been valuable for my friends listening. I know if you're sitting in your office meeting, you're watching this one-on-one, you're taking notes as I am, and Jimmy and I get to talk all the time. So I'm always inspired by where you find inspiration. I'm always inspired, Jimmy, by where you find inspiration. You've got me more fired up just coming off vacation. I'm going to go spend a little more time on all these sites, especially Dribbble. That's one I haven't heard. So I was like, oh, that's new. I'm going to attack it. So, hey, in closing, besides for my friend, you should go to listingleads.com, listingleads.com. I don't think I've ever done this on a show before where I actually said to someone, you should go to listingleads.com, do a free trial, 14 days, whatever it is we're offering. And look, just go and download everything for free. That would be my advice, right, Jimmy? I know we both said that to people and watched the audience sort of giggle. We don't have many people that do that, but I think you should if you need inspiration. More importantly, if you need good marketing. But Jimmy, if they wanted to reach out to you, if somebody wanted to connect with you, what's the best place for them to follow you? Is it on X? Is it on Instagram? What's the best place for people to connect?
You know me, Tom. I'm on a mission to become the most useful person to follow on Instagram. So it's just at Jimmy Mackin on Instagram, just trying to provide value. And in closing, what I would say to everyone who's listening right now, and when this podcast comes out, is that the agents who are going to win this year are the agents who prioritize marketing and sales, the ones who focus on doing that every single day. So like we've been saying all year long, it's time to step on the gas. And as we've been saying, Tom, action solves everything. Let's get out there and get to work.